You know that feeling when you're in a conversation and your brain is just racing ahead? You've got so much you want to say,
Oh, yeah.
but actually getting the words out feels like, I don't know, wading through treacle.
Totally. It's like your brain's running a marathon, but your mouth is still sort of fumbling with its shoelaces.
Exactly. That disconnect. We've all been there, right?
Absolutely. And that gap between what you're thinking and what you actually say
Hmm.
can be really frustrating. It's not just having ideas, it's, how quickly and clearly you can get them across.
Right. So, look, this isn't about trying to turn everyone into some super fast talker. That's not the goal. It's more about something, well, more valuable, I think.
Mm.
Training your brain and your mouth to actually sync up properly. Getting to that point where you can express yourself clearly and, yeah, quickly, but without feeling rushed or like you're tripping over your own tongue.
Precisely. Fluency isn't just about, like, knowing tons of words. It's being able to pull them out and use them effectively right when you need them.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. We're going to tackle this from two main angles, yeah.
Sounds good.
First, we'll look at some practical ways, hopefully kind of fun ways to train your mouth, your actual speech muscles, to work faster. Think of it like physical training.
Like conditioning for speech.
Then we'll switch gears and dive into some techniques to sharpen up your thinking, your mental clarity, so your thoughts can actually keep pace.
Okay, a comprehensive approach then.
Yeah.
Let's start with getting those mechanics, the mouth part, working a bit smoother.
You got it. So let's kick things off with something that might sound a bit simple, maybe even childish, but it's actually pretty powerful. Tongue twisters.
It's funny, isn't it? But yeah, speech is incredibly complex. Your mouth, your lips, tongue, vocal cords,
Yeah.
this whole system of muscles.
Right.
And they all need to coordinate perfectly. Like any motor skill, you can get better with practice.
Exactly. If you want to type faster, you practice typing drills. So if you want to speak more quickly and clearly, well, it makes sense to exercise those specific muscles.
And tongue twisters are just a brilliant, focused way to do that.
Take She Sells Seashells by the Seashore. The classic.
Classic for a reason. All those similar sounds packed together really force your mouth to make those precise movements. It challenges your articulation.
So the exercise is pretty straightforward. Just try saying it slowly first, maybe 5 times. Get the rhythm down.
Feel it out.
Then gradually try to speed it up. Just a little faster, then a little more. And look, the aim isn't instantly perfect, lightning fast delivery.
No, exactly. The real benefit is in the repetition. It trains your mouth to switch between sounds more efficiently. It's like paving smoother pathways for your words.
Okay.
Plus, honestly, it's just a great warm-up before you need to speak.
Yeah, I actually used to do them before job interviews sometimes. Felt a bit silly, but it was a quick way to just wake up my voice, get some momentum going.
Definitely.
And I think it did help with confidence, actually.
And think about learning English. This is gold for tackling those sounds that are often tricky, like the sharsh or the R sounds.
Ah, good point.
Practicing tongue twisters that focus on those sounds really helps improve both speed and pronunciation.
Okay, so maybe next time you're prepping for a class or a presentation or even just jumping on a call,
Yeah,
try a quick tongue twister. Feels weird maybe, but could really help your flow.
for sure.
All right, so we're getting our mouths moving, but how do we actually know if we're getting faster? Is there a way to measure this?
Well, that's a great question. It's easy to feel like you're faster,
Mm.
but yeah, having something concrete can be really motivating.
Right.
So a simple way is to grab a short text, maybe like 300 words or so. Nothing too long.
Okay.
Set a timer for exactly 1 minute. Read the text aloud comfortably, clearly. When the timer goes off, just stop and count how many words you read. That's your baseline.
Ah, okay, so it's like setting a personal best.
Exactly that. You're not competing with anyone else. You're just tracking your own progress.
Yeah.
So if you read, say, 115 words the first time,
Aim for 120 next time or 125.
precisely, it makes it a personal challenge. You can actually see the improvement, which feels good.
And I guess for people stay working on their English fluency, this is helpful because you're not obsessing over perfect pronunciation at first.
Exactly. The focus initially is more on just getting a smoother flow, a better rhythm, building that verbal stamina.
Makes sense.
And here's a little tip. Pick something to read that you actually find interesting.
Ah, good idea.
Yeah, if you're bored, you'll drag. But if you're engaged, your brain is more focused, and your speed tends to pick up more naturally anyway.
Okay, interesting. Now let's shift to something else that, well, I don't think we often connect directly with speaking speed. Breath control.
Ah, yes. Often overlooked, but absolutely crucial. You're right.
It seems so basic, breath. But we don't consciously think about it when we talk.
We don't. But honestly, one of the main reasons people stumble or their voice gets weak when they try to speak quickly is just lack of breath support.
That makes total sense. Your breath is literally the engine for your voice, isn't it?
Pretty much. It's the fuel. If you're not managing it well, your speech can sound rushed or weak, or you find yourself gulping for air mid-sentence.
Oh, I definitely know that feeling. Starting a sentence strong and then just fizzling out by the end because you're out of air.
Exactly that fizzle.
Yeah.
So training your breath control is like optimizing your fuel tank.
Okay, how do we do that? Are there exercises?
Yeah, definitely. Here's a really simple one. Take a nice, deep, comfortable breath in,
Okay.
and then just make a long, steady S sound. Zzz. Try to stretch it out for as long as you can without straining.
Ah, so you're controlling the release of air.
Precisely. You become conscious of how you're letting the air out. Another good one is counting aloud on a single breath.
Like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, just keep going. 1, 2, 3, 4. But the key is to try and keep the energy in the breath consistent for each number. Don't let it fade out towards the end.
Right. Avoid the trail off. Okay. So what are the actual benefits here? What does this give us?
Well, better breath control means a stronger, clearer voice. And yes, it makes it much easier to speak faster without losing that clarity. You're supporting the words properly.
Okay.
It also improves your rhythm, boosts your confidence because you feel more in control, and gives you more vocal stamina. Less likely to feel breathless, especially if you get a bit nervous.
It sounds like such a basic building block, but it affects so much.
It really is foundational. If you've ever felt kind of winded after just a few sentences, these exercises can make a huge difference. Train your breath, and your voice will flow better.
All right. Good stuff.
Okay, so we've talked about the physical side, the mouth, the breath. Now let's flip over to the other side of the coin, the mind. How do we train our brains to think faster in English?
Right, because like we said at the start, you can have the fastest mouth in the world, but if your thoughts are stuck in slow motion,
That's not going to work very well, is it?
not really. So what are some strategies here? How do we boost that thinking speed?
Okay, a really crucial first step, I think, is shifting focus. Move away from just memorizing vocabulary lists.
Oh, yeah. In there.
And focus more on truly understanding how words are used in context.
I can totally relate. I used to make these monster flashcard decks trying to drill words. And yeah, maybe I could recall the definition if you asked me, but using them naturally in conversation, nope. They just wouldn't
Yeah.
surface.
It's such a common thing. It's like having loads of apps on your phone you never actually open.
Huh. Good analogy.
They're there, technically,
Mm-hmm.
but useless when you need them. Understanding how a word works in a real sentence, its nuances, its feel. That's the key.
Right. When you get the word, not just know it, it becomes part of your active toolkit. Easier to grab when you need it.
Exactly. So here's a thought. Instead of trying to cram, say, 50 new words a week,
Which never works anyway.
right, try focusing on maybe just 10. But really work with them. Use them in your own sentences. Write them down in different ways. Connect them to a memory or an experience. That's how you genuinely internalize them.
Make them your own. Okay, that makes sense. So build understanding. Now, how do we actually speed up the mental gears?
Right. So I like to call this mental agility training. We need exercises that push the brain to think and respond quickly in English.
Mental agility training. I like that. What does that look like? Give me an example.
Okay, here's one. Set a timer, just 1 minute, and challenge yourself to talk nonstop about any random topic.
Nonstop.
Yep. The key is no pausing and don't stress about perfect grammar. Just keep the words flowing as fast as you can.
Wow. Okay. That sounds like it would really force your brain to scramble.
It does. It can feel a bit awkward at first, definitely. But your brain starts adapting pretty fast. It learns to find the words it needs more quickly.
So what kind of topic?
Anything. I used to just look around my room, pick an object, a lamp, a book, whatever, and just describe it out loud, rapid fire for that minute.
Hmm.
It honestly made a big difference for me in just feeling more fluent, more confident, speaking off the cuff, training that quick thinking muscle.
That's really practical, actually. So simple, but it forces that real-time access.
Another great mental sprint is practicing answering random English questions immediately.
Like what?
Oh, anything simple.
Yeah.
What's your favorite food and why? What did you do last weekend? If you could have any superpower, what would it be? Stuff like that. The trick is to answer instantly. No pausing to plan.
Resist the urge to formulate the perfect answer first.
Exactly. The more you do that kind of immediate response practice, the faster your brain gets at retrieving the English you already know. It's like Interval training for your thoughts.
Okay, I get it. So the goal isn't the world's most eloquent answer.
Not at all.
It's just exercising that rapid response capability under a little pressure.
Precisely. And you'll likely find, over time, your brain just processes and responds quicker in normal conversations, too.
Hmm.
Now, there's another big factor influencing thinking speed. Stress.
Oh, definitely. Hard to think fast when you're feeling anxious or, put on the spot.
Absolutely. It's like trying to solve a Rubik's Cube while someone's yelling at you. Your brain just doesn't function optimally under that pressure.
Right.
I remember this vividly. I'd feel super prepared for a presentation, know my stuff inside out.
Mm-hmm.
But then the Q&A starts, someone asks something unexpected, and boom, mind blank.
That horrible freezing feeling. Yes.
It wasn't that I didn't know the answer. It was the stress blocking my ability to access it quickly.
So what can we do about that?
Well, learning to manage your nervous system is key. A really powerful, simple tool is box breathing.
Box breathing.
Yeah, it's super easy but very effective. You inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4.
Mm.
Hold your breath for 4. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 4. And then hold the exhale for 4.
In 4, hold 4, out 4, hold 4.
That's it. Just doing a few cycles of that can really calm your mind and reduce that fight or flight response.
Well, I can see how that rhythm would be really grounding. Takes your focus off the panic.
It does. And here's another tip. Maybe it sounds a bit counterintuitive. Learn to laugh at your own little mistakes.
Okay.
If you stumble over a word or your mind does go blank for a second, just acknowledge it lightly. Maybe even say something like, oops, brain buffering for a moment.
Huh. I love that. Brain buffering.
Right. It just diffuses the tension. It gives you permission to be human and just keep going.
Yeah, it takes the pressure off those little slip-ups massively.
Exactly. It reminds you that small errors aren't the end of the world. They don't mean you're failing. And when you lower that fear of messing up, your thoughts can often flow more freely because they're not fighting that internal panic button.
So it's about creating a more relaxed mental space for the thoughts to actually come out.
You got it. And maybe, just maybe, one of the most impactful shifts is a mindset one. Stop seeing conversations, especially in English if it's not your first language, as these high-stakes performances.
Right, like a test.
Yeah, and start seeing them instead as just opportunities. Opportunities to practice, opportunities to connect with someone.
That's a really powerful reframe, actually. Practice and connection, not performance.
Think about it. When you let go of that pressure to sound smart or impress everyone, and you just focus on, hey, I want to share this idea, or I want to understand what you're saying, your brain naturally relaxes.
And when it's relaxed.
Your responses tend to be quicker, smoother, and just more you,
Yeah.
more authentic.
That makes so much sense. Taking that internal pressure off can unlock so much fluency.
It really can.
No.
So, okay, just to kind of pull this all together, we've talked about training the mouth, right? Tongue twisters, checking your speed, that crucial breath control.
The physical stuff.
Then on the mental side, really understanding vocabulary, not just memorizing. Doing those mental agility sprints like the 1-minute talks or quick questions.
Right, the brain training.
And super important, managing stress with things like box breathing and, crucially, shifting that mindset, viewing conversations as practice, not a performance.
Yeah, and I guess the big takeaway is that none of this happens instantly. It's gradual, isn't it? Consistent effort.
Absolutely. Small steps consistently. That's the key. Don't aim for perfection tomorrow. Just aim to be a little bit faster, a little bit clearer than you were yesterday.
Keep training the mouth, keep training the brain.
And keep showing up. Keep putting yourself in those situations to practice.
Definitely.
Which brings us to maybe a final thought for you to chew on. How might focusing consciously on just one of these things, maybe it's tongue twisters every morning, maybe it's box breathing before calls, maybe trying those mental sprints, how might focusing on just one for the next week impact your confidence when you speak English? Something to experiment with.